I gotta say, I like that little scroll at the bottom.
Yeah, because it makes it a lot easier. Well, anyway, good evening, everybody. It is Monday night here at Beyond the Airwaves Leveling Up. And as you can see, I added something to the bottom of the screen for our opening because people wondering, is it kid friendly? No, this show is not kid friendly. So that's why
You
I
can
added
see
that.
why, because I'm taking some drugs.
We have never once in the history of this show claimed that Beyond the Airwaves is anything except a adult discussion show.
Right.
And if in watching our show you have decided that our show is somehow kid friendly, I highly suggest talking to a therapist.
No, better yet, John. I highly suggest getting a fucking lobotomy.
Even better.
I'd rather have a frontal lobotomy than a bottle in front of me.
I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a front. I'd rather have this bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy.
That'll work.
I'd rather have this bottle in front of me than a frontal
I'll take
lobotomy.
this one. All right, somebody's trying to say. I think someone's trying to say something. I think JC was trying to say something. Go ahead.
So, is it okay if I might announce that one of my favorite singers had finally been brought back to sing a song at a certain show in Japan? Or that's tomorrow?
A little bit later.
Yeah, a little bit later. Because first thing we got to do is the intros. Yep. Anyway, I'm your host for tonight. I am Oddbogstream. I'm currently joined in line by 5 of my crazy cohorts. First, below me is our master and creator, Frodo. Hello, Frodo.
Who's actually taking a hit of
Enjoying
Fireball.
yourself, JC?
That's what she said.
All right.
Yes.
Anyway.
Let me go get my pizza.
JC, do me a favor. If you're going to fap, do it behind a closed screen.
I know. I'm just pretending,
All right. Well, anyway, to my left, we have our Persona 5 Joker, Mike. Hello, Mike.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday.
And then below left, we have our Jack Napier Joker, John. Hello, John.
Hey, Shirley. And while I have danced with the devil in the pale moonlight before, tonight I helped somebody move into a new house in the pale moonlight, and in the process almost fell off a 2.5 foot high terrace.
Oh, shit. Oh, God.
How did that? Are
I'll
you
tell you
okay,
more later.
Okay.
John?
I'll tell you more after the intros.
Okay. Anyway, to my right. No, to my right is our number one super says Janet. Hello, Janet.
Hello. Oh, because I'm fiddle farting around with stuff, you guys will be a little choppy to me, so.
Okay, that's fine.
As long as you're okay with me.
Yeah, and to my bottom right, we have our Dragon Zeron JC, who's currently getting his pizza. He'll be right back, no problem. And Sajo, of course, is in the chat room.
Also, before we start, maybe we should bring up a little car tip for people.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear. Hold on. Janet, I think you need a mute.
No, that's JC.
No, that's JC.
Okay. There,
that.
Oh, whoops.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So, if you get your check engine light on a car that is made in 1996 or later, and you get it on your dash, do yourself a favor. The most likely cause of that check engine light is you didn't cinch down your gas cap enough. You need to do it at least 3 clicks.
Oh, that's what I always do.
3 clicks minimal. You can go a lot more.
That's what I do.
The farther you go, the more friction you get on those things in the winter.
Yep.
So remember that.
Okay.
3 clicks is the way to go.
Oh, I always do at least 3. I'll go usually higher than that.
But yeah, that is the most common reason for a car made after 1996 to have your check engine light come on. And it's not that your engine's going bad, it's that your car failed emissions test.
Okay.
So that's a pro tip. And
Alright,
ask
cool.
Mike. Ask
Yeah.
Mike.
Oh no,
Yeah.
hold on.
Ash was on her
Nice
way to
pizza,
work
JC.
this morning, and
Pizza looks good.
she got about halfway to. Also, you are muted, JC. Still.
Sorry, yeah, it looks awesome.
Okay.
She got about halfway to work, and the check engine light came on, which made her nervous. Understandably so. So
First thing he does.
as I contact Frodo because he's the car guy.
Oh,
And
you
plus-
guys
the
did
car
not.
guy.
As
And
well
plus-
as PCs.
You guys did not
And-
want to hear me just now.
What
What
happened?
happened?
Who called you?
Something called Dynata. I have been getting calls from them like day in and day out. I blocked one of the numbers, but apparently it didn't work.
Is it
What kind of scam are they
DINADA?
No, DYNATA. Dynata. They've been calling every fucking day, and it's really pissing me off. I thought I blocked it.
How do you spell it again, Shirley?
DYNATA.
Delta Yankee November Alpha Tango
DY
Alpha.
DYN what?
Let me
November.
type it. Let me type it. Be quicker. There.
Good job, JC. Oh, did you see what happened to JC?
Dropped his
Oh,
phone.
I didn't want to share anything. What am I doing? Okay.
It's a data and insights platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're getting calls every fucking day. I thought I put that on block already.
Are they just asking you to do surveys, or are they trying to scam you?
That sounds like they're trying to scam me because I'm getting really tired of it.
Well, you want to know
So here's what I did. She said,
You
"Is it
work for
okay?"
that.
No, here's what she said. Could we collect information? I said, "Ma'am, I'm in the middle of a podcast. Good night."
And what did
Okay.
she say?
Nothing.
If that
I hung
doesn't
up on her.
work, if they call back again and say this, listen, you motherfucker, I told you, don't call me anymore.
No, Janet.
What?
Shirley, if they call back again, say this. Hello, and thank you for calling Juanita's Porn and Tacos Late Shift. This is Julian. How may I service you this evening?
I like that.
Shirley's
I have
busting.
seen videos on Facebook. I've seen
I'll be right
videos
back.
on
Okay.
Facebook.
Shirley's busting a gut over here.
Sean, that is perfect.
I'm so glad it helped. At this point, should I tell the amusing anecdote about how I almost hospitalized myself this evening?
Hold
Yeah.
on. Janet has a question.
Go ahead.
No, not a question, just a story to tell. I have watched some videos on Facebook in which the scammer gets scammed. And one of the scammers tried to scam a gentleman that works for a local sheriff's office.
Hey, yo.
So
I
you
didn't
know
see
what?
that.
You know what the fun ones are?
What?
When those people are calling from Microsoft because your computer is telling them they have a virus.
Or your warranty is past.
All right, let's let John tell his story now.
Yeah, go
Hold
ahead,
on.
John.
But when you have those people and you reverse hack them to the point where you can literally see every single file and every single folder and every single thing on their computer, and you can literally say, "Oh, you got this?
Gone.
Gone." No, not even just gone, John. I have this bad habit when I get into that situation where I delete certain files in System 32.
What is System 32?
The registry,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, the registry is contained in System 32, but I'm deleting a few executables, including stuff like systrade.exe, Explorer.exe. I don't know, maybe Shell.exe, maybe Kernel32.dll. Oops.
He just about couldn't do worse if he formatted the hard drive.
All right. Well, anyway, let's get to John's
Let's let
story
John tell
here.
his story.
Okay, so here's what happened. Yesterday at church, one of my buddies asked the congregation for help getting his daughter, who was moving into a new house in town, to get moved in. He acted like the move-in date was going to be Wednesday, so I was anticipating that. I offered to help because a lot of the congregation is old enough to be my parents and older. So
Okay.
I told him if he wanted my help, he was fine. I was fine with that. Excuse me. And I was thinking this would happen probably sometime Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon. Thinking in that line, I had a nice productive afternoon where I was dead to the world before noon. Picked up Frodo's wife, Sarah, from work around 3, and then had a nice early dinner at Perkins. Then hanging out here and digesting, I get a text from my buddy saying, John, my daughter was able to move into her house tonight. Would you be able to help her move in? And I text back, do you mean tomorrow or now? He says, now. I sigh and say, yes, I'll be over shortly. It is 7 in the evening this time. The sun has set and the moon is in all its glory. I go there. Now, I'm very fortunate in this because she had enough help that moving the majority of their belongings into the house took about an hour.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and we were unloading from a trailer whose cross-sectional area was like that of a U-Haul trailer, but about as long as an average RV.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. At one point in the unloading process, I was moving the seats of a love seat, a couch, a 3-seater, into their garage, which was back behind the house. So I'm walking in partial darkness to the garage. I help the guy who's got the other end put the couch down. And then because most of the driveway is taken up by a nice big pickup, he goes on the left side of the pickup and I go on the right. And I'm thinking, I'm already breathing hard at this point because I'm not in great shape. I'm thinking, okay, I'll just walk down the driveway. All of a sudden, because I can't see real well, I trip against a slightly raised section of cinder blocks and realize I am on a terrace that is at least 2 to 3 feet off the ground.
Oh, shit.
Had I not found my feet in time, I probably would have fell. My head probably would have fell a good 9 feet to the ground. And at best, I probably would have been concussed.
Oof.
But thankfully, God knew I was doing the Lord's work, so he put down his hand and held me up and said, okay, John, don't do that again, please. At which point, I helped get the rest of the stuff moved in, then played a game of pool with her son, who was antsy to get to stay there that night.
Anyway.
All right, guess what?
What?
I got it ready to start loading Windows 10.
Okay.
Oh, good.
All right. So anyway, let's get to the meat of this matter. First of all, we have 3 people who have passed away over the past 3 days. The biggest one was the biggest shock this morning, finding out about Colin Powell. For those who don't know, he was the Secretary of State, I believe under Bush?
Bush. Yeah,
Yeah.
under
He was,
Bush.
I
George
think, one
W.
of the
George W. I
I
believe.
think was one of the supporters of the invasion of Iraq.
Mhm.
And I
No,
thought
he
he was also
wasn't.
the
He did
Secretary of
not.
Defense.
He did not support the invasion of Iraq. At least not the second time.
All right. Well, anyway, he passed away from complications due to COVID-19. Now, the thing is, he was fully vaccinated. The problem was, it turns out he was battling a lot of different things at the same time. So let me get the article up because
Leave you there till in the morning.
because the good news is, let's see. Oh, I hate it when I have to do that. It won't let me Give me a second. The link won't let me do it in
Frodo, I looked at the files and there's a bunch of files and folders and there's one on the very bottom marked setup. Is that the one I click on to start installing 10?
Don't worry about that
Yeah.
yet. Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll wait till
after the show.
tomorrow. No, I'm not going to do it now. If you want to wait till tomorrow, we
Yeah.
can.
Okay, now I can put the link in here. Got it. Okay, there we go. Now we're
Will
cooking
you
with
be
gas.
available tomorrow? show it
Part of the
No,
doesn't
day I'm
Frodo
not.
cooks with gas.
How about tomorrow? Tonight.
What was
after.
that, John?
She said, now we're cooking with gas. And I said, no, Frodo cooks with gas.
We do too.
Okay, give me a
Let's
second.
just focus on the episode, Jan.
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Come on.
Yeah, that was nice.
Okay, there we go. Okay, no, we don't need that right now. Out. Out. Get out of here. Thank you.
In.
What the? That is not what I was trying to do. I wish. I hate it when it does this to me. There.
Shirley,
Now I
can
got
you
it.
say the link in the Zoom chat?
Sure. Hang on a second. Okay. There. Got it.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, back to this. Anyway, this is from CNN. Colin Powell, first black U.S. Secretary of State, dies of COVID-19 complications amid cancer battle. So here's what happened.
I told you.
Janet, I
Boy, that
know.
guy reminds me of
Okay.
James Earl Jones.
Ooh, come on, not the low system bit again. All right.
Just ignore it, Shirley. I get that all the time when I'm at Frodo's.
All right. Anyway, Colin Powell, the first black U.S. Secretary of State whose leadership in several Republican administrations helped shape American foreign policy in the last years of the 20th century and the early years of the 21st, has died from complications from COVID-19, his family said on Facebook. He was 84. General Colin L. Powell, former U.S. Secretary of State and chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, passed away this morning due to complications from COVID-19, the Powell family wrote on Facebook, noting he was fully vaccinated. Powell had multiple myeloma, a cancer of plasma cells that suppress the body's immune response, as well as Parkinson's. Peggy Cifrino, Powell's longtime chief of staff, confirmed to CNN. Even if fully vaccinated against COVID-19, those who are immunocompromised are still at greater risk from the virus. We have lost a remarkable and loving husband, father, grandfather, and great American, the family said.
Okay, I'm going to take over from here.
Okay.
Powell was a distinguished and trailblazing professional soldier whose career took him from combat duty in Vietnam to becoming the first black national security advisor during the end of Ronald Reagan's presidency, and the youngest and first African-American chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under President George H.W. Bush. His national popularity soared in the aftermath of the U.S.-led coalition victory during the Gulf War, and for a time in the mid-90s, he was considered a leading contender to become the first black president of the United States. Had I been old enough back then, and had he run on the Republican ticket, I probably would have voted for him. But his reputation would be forever stained when, as George W. Bush's first Secretary of State, he pushed faulty intelligence before the United Nations to advocate for the Iraq War, which he would later call a blot on his record. Bush said in a statement Monday that Powell was a great public servant who was, quote, such a favorite of presidents that he earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom twice. He was respected at home, highly respected at home and abroad. And most important, Colin was a family man and a friend, unquote. But Powell never mounted a White House bid. When he was sworn in as Bush's Secretary of State in 2001, he became the highest-ranking black public official to date in the country, standing fourth in the presidential line of succession. Frankly, as long as he didn't pat himself on the back for being the right race, that's what matters to me. But I think it shows to the world what is possible in this country, Powell said of his history-making nomination during his Senate confirmation hearing. It shows to the world that follow our model, and over a period of time from our beginning, if you believe in the values that espouse, You can see things as miraculous as me sitting before you to receive your approval. Later in his life, Powell would grow disillusioned with the Republican Party's rightward lurch and would use his political capital to help select Democrats to the White House, most notably Barack Obama, the first black president, whom Powell had endorsed in the final weeks of the 2008 campaign. The announcement was seen as a significant boost for Obama's candidacy due to Powell's widespread popular appeal and stature as one of the most prominent and successful Black Americans in public life. Powell was survived by his wife, Alma Vivian, née Johnson Powell, whom he married in 1962, as well as 3 children. Sofrino told CNN Powell was vaccinated early on and received his second shot in February. He was scheduled to get his booster shot this past week, but that was when he fell so ill, so he wasn't able to receive it. COVID-19 vaccines are a highly effective tool in preventing severe disease and death, but no vaccine is 100% effective. More than 7,000 breakthrough cases of COVID-19 that have resulted in death have been reported to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention through October 12th. By that time, more than 187 million people in the U.S. are fully vaccinated. That's 1 out of every 26,000 fully vaccinated people who has died of COVID-19, or 0.004%. Of those breakthrough cases resulting in death, 85% were among people aged 65 and older, and 57% were among men, according to the CDC. CDC data also show that the risk of dying from COVID-19 is more than 11 times higher for unvaccinated adults than it is for vaccinated adults throughout August. Among seniors, who are the most susceptible to severe COVID-19, that gap is smaller. Among those 80 and older, the risk of dying from COVID-19 in August was about 5 times higher among unvaccinated people than among fully vaccinated people. Powell's death was met with an outpouring of grief from former and current leaders, including President Joe Biden, who described Powell as a dear friend and a dedicated public servant who broke barriers. Colin embodied the highest ideals of both warrior and diplomat. He was committed to our nation's strength and security above all. Having fought in wars, he understood better than anyone that military might alone was not enough to maintain our peace and prosperity. From his front seat view of history, advising presidents and shaping our nation's policies, Colin led with his personal commitment to the democratic values that make our country strong. Time and again, he put country before self, before party, before all else, in uniform and out, and it earned him the universal respect of the American people, Biden said. Former Vice President, say again, Jen.
You know what? He was right, too.
Well, anyway, former Vice President Dick Cheney, who served alongside Powell under Bush when he said he was deeply saddened to learn that America lost a leader and a statesman. General Powell had a remarkably distinguished career, and I was fortunate to work with him, Cheney said in a statement, adding that Powell was a, quote, trailblazer and role model, unquote. Former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, Powell's predecessor at the department, remembered him on Monday as, quote, a wise and principled man, a loyal friend, and one of the kindest people I have ever met, unquote. Although we grew up in different contexts, we bonded over our family's immigrant stories, our deep love of America, and our belief in the importance of public service, she said in a statement. Condoleezza Rice, who succeeded Powell at state.
Bless you. Oh.
JC, if you're going to blow your nose, can you mute please?
Oh, I'm not blowing my nose. It's just I'm breathing heavily.
Then go stop it up. Condoleezza Rice, who succeeded Powell at state following his retirement in 2005, said on Monday that he was, quote, a trusted colleague and a dear friend through some very challenging times, unquote, adding in her own statement that much of his legacy will live on in the countless number of young lives he touched. And Anthony Blinken, the current office holder, said on Monday that Powell gave the State Department the very best of his leadership, his experience, his patriotism. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said in remarks on Monday that in Powell he lost a tremendous personal friend and mentor. He always made time for me, and I could always go to him with tough issues. He always had great counsel. We will certainly miss him, said Austin, who himself made history earlier this year as the first Black Defense Secretary.
Okay, I think we can stop there because everything from this point is like
I am
his
not
life.
even halfway through the article.
I know, but
it's being
It's
a
just
bit
boring.
worse.
yeah,
That's
it's basically his
fine.
life.
That's fine.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we can
All right.
stop here.
Before we continue with the next story, we have a little bit of an impromptu but important tech talk.
I'm all ears.
There's a lawsuit against one of the biggest printer names in the world.
Don't say
HP
HP.
No,
No.
it's Canon.
Oh, I should hear this. I have a Canon printer scanner myself.
Well, John, this might directly affect you. There are Canon printers now that if you have even one ink tank, even out of ink, so you could have no magenta ink, for example, okay, you won't be able to scan. You're hearing me right. A process that doesn't even touch the ink tanks is being blocked on Canon printers because if you scan without having ink, it could cause damage to your printer.
That sounds stupid.
Yes,
That's
it does.
beyond stupid.
Okay, I got a
Here,
trying to remember I think I got a Canon MG printer scanner.
shit. Sorry. Here's the link for you, John. If you want to have fun and read.
Do you guys want me to?
I'll take it.
Okay, Shirley.
All right. So, no ink, no scan. Canon USA printers hit with class action suit. So, we all hate that when any single ink in our inkjet printers is out, most printers won't allow us to print at all. That's especially annoying when we want to print an ordinary black and white document, but the printer says, no way, when we're out of, say, cyan ink. Now, Canon USA has reached a new low in printing frustration. According to a class action lawsuit, the Canon Pixma MG6320 all-in-one machine won't even scan or fax document if the printer's out of ink. The annoyed user
Used to have a Canon Pixma.
The annoyed user, David Leecraft's law firm, Levi and Korsinski, a New York City-based security company, sued Canon in U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of New York. Leecraft is suing on his own behalf and on behalf of everyone else in the same annoying situation. He's seeking $5 million in damage awards, exclusive of interest, fees, and litigation costs. His claim? As opposed to the single-function printers it sells, Canon calls these multifunction devices a 3-in-1 or 4-in-1 for the fact they purportedly provide 3 or 4 functions. But, in truth, the all-in-one printers do not scan or fax documents when the devices have low or empty ink cartridges, the, quote, design issue, unquote, and Canon's advertising claims are false, misleading, and reasonably likely to deceive the public. Further, there is no reason or technical basis for manufacturing the all-in-one printers with an ink level detection function that causes the scanner to stop functioning when ink is low or empty. Canon designed the all-in-one printers in such a way to require consumers to maintain ink in their devices regardless of whether they intend to print. The claims are being done because Canon is seeking to increase its profits by selling replacement ink cartridges. The plaintiff has added that since printer inks typically expire after a few years, whether used or not, all-in-one machine users are forced to keep buying new ink just to use the scanner function. In addition, since inkjet ink costs an astronomical $12,000 a gallon, the ink prices are also outrageous. It comes as no surprise that according to a 2019 Consumer Reports printer use survey, the most common complaint was the high cost and hassle of replacing ink cartridges. I believe that. Now,
I can vouch. Go ahead and finish your article.
All right.
Then I'll
Now,
talk.
now Canon USA makes no bones about the fact that their all-in-one printers do
Mhm.
require ink to scan, and they've been doing it since at least 2016. In answer to the same problem, only on a Pixma MG5420 stated, if you're experiencing a low ink warning, you will still be able to scan but not print. If you're getting an ink out error, you will not be able to use the unit until the ink is replaced. Why? The Canon representative explained, these precautions are in place to prevent damage to the printer from occurring if printing with no ink is attempted. The printer uses the ink to cool the print head during the printing process. If no ink is present, the print head could be damaged or the unit would require service. You may note this non-answer answer has nothing to do with scanning.
Timeout. Timeout.
Hmm.
You're on bullshit. Right there. Canon representative, I don't care who you are, you're on bullshit. The function of a scanner doesn't use any fucking ink.
DC, can you mute,
So
please?
sorry.
Okay.
The scanning function doesn't use ink. It uses light.
Right.
Light doesn't run out. So shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Continue.
All right, there's only 2 paragraphs and 2 left. So, Canon is not the only printer manufacturer to require inks for scanning or faxing to work. To date, however, none of these other companies has been taken to court. The court has yet to take action on the lawsuit, nor has Canon replied yet. If the case does move forward, the plaintiff is asking for a jury trial. Concerning how people feel about printers, I doubt this would turn out well for Canon.
Nice.
Well, you want to know something? I can still print when I get a low ink warning. It's just when the ink gets too low, all of my copies come out streaky.
Right.
Yeah, I have the same problem. I'm trying to figure out. I know I have a Canon printer scanner. It doesn't fax. At least I don't think it does. Trying to see whether or not I'm likely to be at risk. I don't think I will be.
All right. So anyway, let's get back to the meat and potatoes. What we're trying to do. Story number 2. Passing number 2, I should say, is Dorothy Steele. Now, the name may not sound familiar. Okay.
Can you share it in the Zoom chat, please?
Sure. Give me just a second because I gotta find the.
Sorry for interrupting the deaths.
It's all right.
No, it's fine. It's
You
okay.
needed to say that, dude.
All right. Okay, give me just a second here. I hope
Might
I
be a
can
good subject for TikTok if we find out more about the lawsuit.
Well, we'll find out over time, but this one's just still stupid.
Yeah, it is. Okay, almost got it, John. Put it into the. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. There we go. Okay, got it.
Mike or Janet, I think one of you should read this one because I don't think I was as close to the Black Panther franchise as you guys were, and Shirley just read an article.
You want me to read it?
I'll read
I've
it.
never seen the movie.
I got it.
Mike's
I
got
read
I'd
it.
read it.
Okay.
I could.
Well, let's let Mike go for it.
Okay.
All right. So, a 95-year-old actress who appeared in Marvel's blockbuster Black Panther has died. Dorothy Steele was 95. She died Friday morning at her home in Detroit. She went out strong, her publicist said. Prior to her death, she lived in Atlanta for many years. Steele played a tribe leader in the fictional land of Wakanda in the film, which was shot in Metro Atlanta. Her role in Black Panther was her biggest, but she had a handful of credits in other films, including Jumanji: The Next Level, which I still need to see. It was amazing. It truly was. Steele told Channel 2 of the experience in 2008. If anyone would have told me I would be an actor, I would have said, you got to be out of your mind. Steele was born in Detroit in 1926 and didn't land her first acting role until she was 88 years old. Black Panther was her first appearance on the big screen. She was in the middle of filming Black Panther 2 when she died, according to her publicist. The Marvel franchise flew her home to Detroit to spend her last moments with loved ones. This was going to be my last role, Steele said, according to her publicist. In 2018, Steele told Channel 2 that Marvel casting directors called her just 1 hour after she went into her audition tape.
Wow.
Wow. Steele ended up landing the part in The Merchant Tribal Elder Who Advises the King of Wakanda, played by lead actor Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick the King, every day he would make sure if I was on the set, he would come by and make sure he gave me a big old hug and kiss, Steele said. Boseman died of colon cancer in 2020. Steele said she became a grandmother on the set of Black Panther, which she said is not just a movie, but a movement. We were one big melting pot of Black people, and we knew we were doing something that had never been done before, you know, she said. Steele said the woman of Wakanda ruled Black Panther. We have power, and it's time for us to step up and take over. That's what we have to do and take over, she said.
And that's the end.
The article.
But that's amazing. She started at 88. It just goes to show you're never too old.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Honey Badger and her are related in a way when you think about it.
I'm talking about
The age at which they were acted. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, if it was wrong on me to put that on you, I'm sorry. But the fact is, I only saw the movie Black Panther once. I didn't really get in. Black Panther was Marvel, right?
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
I never really got into the Marvel movies.
Okay, that's fine.
And I thought it makes the most sense for those of us who were closest to the deceased to read the articles about their deaths.
Oh, technically, I'd only seen it once too.
Well, I hadn't seen it at all, and I was willing to read it.
I've got the Blu-ray. I've been watching on Disney Plus, so yeah, I know about that. All right, so the other passing, this one was actually on Saturday. I didn't know this until this afternoon. Now, most people here will not know who she is. Janet and I do know who she is. Okay, so let me explain. The woman's name is Denise Breyer. She was a British voice actress. Now, she actually did voices in Labyrinth. She also did voices in Return to Oz. But for fans of Terrahawks, her most notable role was Zelda. And she had such a distinctive laugh. That was absolutely amazing.
Her character, the character she played was an ugly motherfucker.
Yeah.
Ugly as sin.
And she made it sound so perfect. She made it sound perfect in that ugly form. So let me put the thing in here.
Hey, maybe you can find a article that has a clip of her voice.
Let's see. Well, I don't know if I can do that, but I can find something quick on YouTube in a minute. So, and don't worry, fair use is already in effect, so we don't have to worry about anything. All right. So anyway, I'm sorry about all the ads, but guess what? They didn't like me using the ad blocker. All right. So, Terrahawk's voice actress Denise Breyer.
Block plus next time.
That's
sorry
what
for interrupting you, but
John,
you are.
I was using it. It told me not to. I had to turn it off for this.
Well, it's not asking that of me, and I'm.
Well, it did for me.
Oh.
So. All right. So anyway, yeah. Well, anyway, here's the story. Actress Denise Breyer, best known for her voice work on Terrahawks and Labyrinth, has died at age 93. The actress died peacefully at her home on Saturday. Jamie Anderson, the son of the late Thunderverse creator Jerry Anderson, confirmed the news, tweeting, "I'm so very sad to share the news that glorious Denise Breyer has died at age 93. She was absolutely amazing. So kind and my surrogate grandmother. I'm heartbroken that she's gone, but I feel very lucky to have known her." Anderson had worked with Breyer on Terrahawks, The Adventures of Twizzle, and Four Feathered Falls. Those latter two are two of the first Jerry Anderson series ever. Oh, what do you know? There is a clip. Good. All right. Anyway, Breyer began working as a voice actress at the age of 9, going to train at RADA before becoming a regular voice on British radio in the 1940s. This was followed by television work, with Breyer voicing the title character in The Adventures of Noddy, as well as voicing Noddy for a Kellogg's Ricicles ad. Ricicles. Now that's a cool name. Anyway, in 1957, she was cast as the voice of Footso the cat in the children's puppet series The Adventures of Twizzle, and Anderson and Arthur Provost later cast her as Ma Jones, Little Jake, and Makuyon the puppet in the puppet western Four Feathered Falls. In 1983, Breyer landed her best-known role, voicing the evil Queen Zelda of Guk in Terrahawks, as well as Captain Mary Falconer in It Star. In film, she provided the voices for the Junk Lady in the David Bowie classic Labyrinth, Bellina the Hen in Return to Oz, and Circe in Hercules. Doctor Who fans may also recognize Breyer for voicing Dominique Van... Oh, God. Gissagem.
Yeah, Gissahim.
Yeah,
If it's GH is pronounced H. Gissahim.
Okay. Gisham, thank you. In the Big Finish audio drama The Reaping and the Gathering. We are very sorry to hear about the sad passing of Denise Breyer, who had the privilege of working with Terrahawks and Doctor Who, The Reaping, R.I.P. Let's see, I already read that. Breyer married her Four Feathered Falls castmate Nicholas Parsons in 1954, and they shared two children together, Justin and Susie. And the good news is, there's the clip right there. So here we go. Oh, wait, I gotta take it off.
Sadly, she did divorce from him after being married for 35 years.
There is the voice clip is a clip in the audio
Yes, it's in the article.
Yeah.
in the link. Okay. Boy, she was pretty in that one picture.
Mm-hmm.
How can someone that pretty
Die.
do something so ugly? Oh.
It wasn't me. It wasn't my idea. Be quiet, you sniveling wretch.
Yeah. That's how good she was with Zelda.
Oh, Darth Vader just got shot in the face.
Oh yeah, I know.
Could be worse.
Yep. Okay, well anyway, now we've got through that part. I think we can go to this next part now. For those who were not aware, DC had its own little thing called the DC Fandome. It's about 3 hours and 45 minutes worth of, trailers, news, comics, and so forth. Of course, I was watching most of it on YouTube, and a lot of people were saying, "Where's the Batman trailer?" If people would know better, like I do, it was at the very end.
Okay, I've heard of Fat Man and Tubbin, who were parodies of superheroes Jerry Lewis and his nephew Renfrew tried to come up with when they got obsessed with Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
Or
okay.
were you talking about the atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki, I believe it was?
No. No, it's just that the problem is I knew the trailer for the Batman was going to be at the far end of this thing, but everyone was saying, "We want Batman now." I was like, "Come on."
Okay, I thought you
people.
said Fat Man.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's the Batman. The new one with Robert Pattinson, which, by the way, from the look at how he sounds, I'm giving him a chance because he's gone beyond being Edward Cullen. Trust me. He's done really well.
I hope you're right.
It sounds really interesting.
Yeah, he's done really well since his Edward Cullen days. So, And I will give you a high. I'll give you a high recommendation. What was that one that was on Netflix last year with Tom Holland? I watched the whole thing. He's really good, and you couldn't tell he's British. He sounds like a pure Southerner.
I actually have a friend who actually, well, I knew somebody who actually met him, and they said he was one of the coolest people to talk to, like one of the nicest people ever.
That's good. Yeah, because
I don't know if you remember the movie Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
He was in there, and the
I didn't know
person
that.
that movie was based on his character. I knew somebody who knew him, and I spoke with that guy, and he said that he was one of the coolest people to meet.
Cool.
So
Yeah, because I think Pattinson's the type of actor he can go past that typecast because he's done really well since. Because I think there's one movie called The Lighthouse. He's really good in that one.
Can't say the same about Kristen Stewart though.
Can't say the same about most of the actors from the Twilight Saga.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but let's see. There was that. There was also a look at the Flashpoint paradox. That one's coming in 2022. Dwayne Johnson, he showed up and showed like some first footage of Black Adam, which by the way, July 29th, 2022. Already
I
got the
hope he's
date.
recovering well after Jungle Cruise.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, this move, the Black Adam has been his passion project for a while.
You know what what Disney needs to do?
What?
They ought to make a movie about. You guys know the Weird Al Yankovic song "Skipper Dan"?
Not familiar with that one.
It's a song about a guy who goes to college to study theater. He ends up having to make ends meet by working as a tour guide on the Jungle Cruise ride, where Skipper Dan is his name.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
He's doing 34 shows every day, and every time it's the same. They need to make a movie about a guy who ends up working on the Jungle Cruise ride but wants something better.
Yeah.
I think they could make a pretty good mint off of that.
That's a possibility. It's a good idea. Well, let's
Definitely
see what
relatable in these times.
Yeah, let's see. Also, let's see. We had the Flash. We have first look at Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. That's gonna be the sequel. I think that's coming out in 2022. I can't remember what date it was. I think it's December, something in that neighborhood. Well, let's see. We got the Flash. Got that. Of course, the Batman.
I guess would have been.
Yeah, the Batman is March 4th, 2022. So that's not that far off. We also have, let's see, now believe it or not, Black Adam is not the only thing Dwayne Johnson has in 2022. There's actually another movie called The League of Super Pets, and he'll be voicing Crypto.
Is it at least going to be live action CG, or are they going to try to animate it?
I think this one's animated.
Okay.
Because they've got Dwayne Johnson doing Crypto, Kevin Hart doing Ace the dog. So
I have to wonder how long it's going to be before somebody's going to get in their head to try to make a movie out of My Little Pony that is live action CG.
I think there's something in the works. I could ask my brony friend.
If nothing else,
Actually,
I think
there
I
is.
just put the idea out. What?
There's actually a TV show. Like I'm already with the CGI and stuff. They're already making it. They actually released the trailer for it. Like I think a couple of weeks ago.
Is that on Netflix?
I think I saw a clip of that on YouTube.
I think so.
Yeah, I believe it's on Netflix if I remember right. Yeah, but there was all that, and they're talking about Titans, Supergirl's farewell tribute, and I'll tell you, a lot of it's funny. And you can find, and I'll tell you right now, a lot of these videos are now on YouTube, so it's easy to find. Just type DC Fandome, you'll find plenty of it. And let's see. Also found out there's a static movie in the works for real. And
nice.
it's gonna feature.
How often do they
Static
do DC Fandom?
They
do the
Static
Fandome
deserved a movie for about
every
10
week.
Years.
No, Fandome is a once a year thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but see, what happened was last year it was kind of haphazard because of the pandemic, and things weren't quite so organized. But they did a much better job this year.
Shirley,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
did you hear what I said?
No.
I said I think Static Shock should have had a movie about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was. It's one of the more esoteric but good
Yeah.
DC properties.
Yeah, and what's great is it's gonna be Milestone Comics making like a comeback because it was founded by I think it was Dennis Cowan and Dwayne McDuffie, the late Dwayne McDuffie, and they've also launched something like some special initiative where Ally Bank will help black comic book creators. So I think that's pretty cool.
Oh,
But but
excuse me.
now believe it or not, all these movies coming out. They got the Batman March 4th. Now here's where the Marvel craziness starts coming into play. Marvel was supposed to put out Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness on March 25th. That has now been moved to May 6th. There's like a huge shakeup.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Didn't this happen after Fandome?
Mm-hmm. Actually, that was just announced today.
Yeah, they're probably doing that because they want to get as much money as possible, like profit.
Well, you also gotta remember, the one problem with DC that a lot of people have is the fact that it's owned by AT&T, and AT&T and their human rights record is abysmal to say the least.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm gonna be honest with you, Frodo. Most people they're gonna go see the movies no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. I would want to see them too, but I'm just pointing it out.
I know that's fine.
For people's information, the DC universe is owned by a company that, if you have problems with certain companies and their negative human rights records, maybe be cautious of it. For example, one example would be like me and Chick-fil-A. I won't touch them with a 10-foot pole.
I still will, only because of the fact that they've always given me good customer service. I love the waffle fries.
Yeah,
Well,
same.
I'd touch Chick-fil-A anymore if they catered a blood drive. But the fact is, I used to work at a Chick-fil-A, and I'll tell you, Shirley, if you saw how the char-grilled chicken breasts got prepared, you'd stay well away from them.
Well, usually I do nowadays anyway. I usually take like the I just
Fried
usually just
stuff.
get the waffle fries because it's gluten free, and I always do it with barbecue sauce. I won't do it with ketchup. It tastes better to me with barbecue sauce.
I'm the same way these days.
Barbecue
thing of it
sauce
is,
just has more flavor.
Right. But I mean, the way I look at it is, yes, there may be things I don't agree with, but the first thing I look at is customer service. They've always been good to me, so.
I mean,
Okay.
I understand that viewpoint, Shirley. Sorry about that, John.
It's all right. Shirley, the thing you got to understand is that the reason Frodo hates Chick-fil-A
It's the anti-gay
isn't even
stance.
about, yes.
I know.
And that's technically not even human rights. That's civil rights. Human rights is stuff like advocating child labor, advocating chattel slavery, things like that.
Exactly.
Cat's being an idiot.
Yep.
What's he doing? Sitting on the pizza box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Shirley?
Maybe he thinks it's a Zumba.
CNN just posted an article about what I discussed earlier with you guys that we couldn't post because of Washington Post pain in the ass.
Oh, good.
Okay.
So it's in the Facebook chat.
Okay.
We got time to go over it?
I think we just might.
Yep.
Also, I got something.
I don't have the link.
It's in the Facebook chat.
I'm not seeing the Facebook chat.
Scroll all the way down to the bottom.
It's all. I'm at the bottom on
refresh the page.
Okay. Hey, can I say something real fast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
not winking
basically,
out.
for those who follow Tokusatsu in general, or Sentai specifically,
Shut up, you stupid.
we just got a new insert song from the famous anime song singer Hironobu Kageyama. So for those who don't know, he's a member of Jam Project and also signed to Lantis. However, this is the first time he sung a Sentai song in 15 years. We haven't seen this guy ever sing an insert theme or do any songs in general for Columbia in a long while. But now I think things are starting to be closed and minding the gap, because I heard something happen around the time he was releasing an album. Columbia was wanting to have him sing some more songs, but Atlanta was like, no, we'd rather not. So right now, they finally brought him back to sing a Zenkaiger song, which is pretty awesome. I haven't heard it yet. I'm still trying to catch up. I'm only 4 episodes behind, but this is big for those who are big Jam Project fans or big old school Tokusatsu fans. Hearing this guy, hearing him sing another song, Sentai song, is pretty cool. And I hope to see more of him maybe every year, because they tend to do that. Have the same singers sing mecha songs and stuff every year. So maybe we'll get something cool.
Okay, I've got it.
Yeah.
I've got
I'll
it.
read it. You guys rest your voices.
Okay.
This is from CNN. Washington State University's head football coach, Nick Rolovich, and 4 assistant coaches are losing their jobs because of refusal to comply with the state's COVID-19 vaccine mandate, the university's athletics department said Monday. Due to the requirements set forth in Washington Governor Jay Inslee's Proclamation 21-14.1, Nick Rolovich is no longer able to fulfill the duties as the football head coach at Washington State University, the department said in a news release. Defensive contractor Jake Dickert will become acting head coach, it said. The 4 assistant coaches are Ricky Logo, John Richardson, Craig Stutzman, and Mark Weber, the news release said. This is a disheartening day for our football program, Director of Athletics Pat Chun said in a statement. Our priority has been and will continue to be the health and well-being of the young men on our team. The leadership on our football team is filled with young men of character, selflessness, and resiliency, and we are confident that these same attributes will help guide this program as we move forward. Inslee's proclamation required full vaccinations by Monday for most state employees. It's the latest COVID-19 vaccine issued to roil the sports world. Earlier Monday, the National Hockey League announced that Evander Kane of the San Jose Sharks has been suspended after an investigation into whether he submitted a fraudulent COVID-19 vaccination card, according to Front Office Sports and ESPN. In July, Rolovich said in a post on social media that he, quote, elected not to receive a COVID-19 vaccine for reasons which will remain private, unquote. While I have made my own decision, Rolovich said to them, I suspect that every individual, including our coaches, staff, and student athletes, can make his or her own decision regarding the COVID-19 vaccine. Rolovich, 41, was named the 33rd head football coach in the WSU program history on January 14th, 2020. Sorry about that. The team went 1-3 last season, which was shortened because of the pandemic. The Cougars are 4-3 this season. On Saturday, after a 34-31 win at home against Stanford, Rolovich was asked in a post-game news conference if he knew whether he would be coaching the team in the following week. I do not, Rolovich told reporters. When asked whether he had been given guidance between then and Monday regarding an exemption request, Rolovich said he was waiting for an email. How nice. I'm going to come to work tomorrow and be ready for BYU, and we'll grade this film, Rolovich said Saturday, speaking of the October 23rd game against Brigham Young University. I don't think this is in my hands. I've been settled for a long time on it. I believe it's going to work out the right way. Asked whether the, quote, right way, unquote, meant remaining as the team's head coach, Rolovich replies, correct. Or if that's not what Chun wants, then I guess I've got to move on. When Rolovich was asked whether he would take the vaccine to save his job, he replied, if that happens, you'll be the first to know. Okay, while I don't, while I confess I do not agree with the state's demand that people get vaccinated, I do believe that it is better than a forced mask mandate or a forced social distancing or worse, forced quarantine. And I believe if they want people to get the vaccine, what they need to do is the smart thing and to say that if you can present a vaccination card, you cannot be required to wear a face covering anywhere you go, including public offices. Because if they do that, I guarantee you, anybody who feels as uncomfortable as I do wearing a face covering that ain't a face shield will do it.
And to be fair,
I know a gal at
go ahead.
Target.
Go ahead, Jan.
Okay,
Go ahead, Jan.
never mind. I forgot
Just
what I
say
was
it.
going to say.
No, she
Okay, if you
forgot.
think of it, tell us.
Okay, what I was gonna say is this. Okay, for me, I have places I have to go that require me to wear a mask. But every time I go there, I do have a mask that I use, but it's still irritating because here's the thing. When you're vaccinated, yeah, there are breakthrough cases. But the chances of you getting a breakthrough case are slim.
Oh, shit.
They're not 0%. And that's why for people like Janet and Colin Powell and the likes that had and have diminished immune systems, using the masks is still a good idea. You cannot
Well,
deny that one, can you, John?
Frodo, my response to that is this. They're not doing that for you. They're doing it for others. It's one thing if they only expect masks out of people who can show that they do not have a compromised immune system. That's one thing. It's another to require it of everybody.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, they're not doing it for you. They're doing it for others, or rather for themselves. They're doing it to cover their own asses.
But let me finish my statement quick, and you'll understand what I'm saying.
I
There
thought you
are
had, but
people. There are people in the world who have diminished immune systems for whatever reason. Cancer, diabetes is one reason to have a diminished immune system. The list goes on. I'm just listing 2 examples that I can think of off the top of my head.
and I think I know where you're going with this, which is that a mask is good for their protection. But Frodo, there's a difference between only requiring them to mask up and requiring everybody to do so.
I'm not going to deny that. I do think that universal mask mandates are maybe going a little bit too far.
I could not agree more with that. But guys, it's just after 10. I think this would be a good debate to save for a Warzone Wednesday.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. So anyway, here's the plan for the rest of this
Didn't sound
week.
like we were really having a debate, but yeah.
Well,
Discussion.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's discuss it on Wednesday especially if we run out of topics.
Okay. All right. So anyway, here's what we got for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, of course, is Tune In Tuesday. Then we have Warzone Wednesday, and Thursday, our attention to one topic will be salt. And it sounds crazy, but guess what? Since the FDA put out something about salt, and me having high blood pressure and making sure I can't have too much, and knowing that some places have over 7,500 milligrams of sodium in one meal, yeah, I think that's a good discussion.
Me too.
All right.
And
I'm gonna give
what's
you
our Friday
4
game du
grams.
jour?
Friday is gonna be our new one, Doodle, right?
Yep, Doodler.
Yeah,
Now-
Doodler.
Now, let me explain. For those that don't understand, we have started a new little game called Doodler, and it's actually pretty fun.
Mhm.
Mike Jan, Shirley, John, explain.
Okay, basically, Doodler is kind of like the game Pictionary, but without teams.
Mhm.
The person who has to draw is given a concept to draw, and they draw it to the best of their ability, and points are
Which
awarded to
isn't very
people.
good sometimes.
Yes, I know, Janet. Points are awarded to people based on who is able to guess the word being drawn out first,
Mhm.
or rather, the order in which they guess. Points are also given to the artist based on how many people are able to answer, and I believe how quickly they're able to answer.
Mhm.
Sure,
Mute,
Janet, what's
please,
wrong?
JC.
Oh, sorry. Can somebody mute me?
Okay, I got it.
Anyway,
Thank you.
continuing.
Here's the thing. Normally, Doodler is a family-friendly online game similar to a nice version of Board Game Online. However, private rooms are allowed to add their own custom words. And not only has Frodo made several files of custom words, they are, in a turn of phrase, choice words.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
you all know what that means.
Let
Yep.
me put it to you this way. Some of the words are suitable for a brothel.
That's
Is
one of
that
them.
true?
I think some of the words are actually worse than a brothel can handle.
Oh well.
But
Well,
no,
anyway, that's the.
we're turning it into our own naughty doodler.
Mhm.
And
believe me, for some of the words he chose, the doodles will be naughty.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
okay, let me give you guys a hint. A text document with all the different words we have is 413 bytes. And that includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32,
All right.
33, 34,
Let's give
35,
a rough
36,
estimate of the
37,
number of words,
38,
please.
39 words.
There's your answer.
Unfortunately, he didn't think to number them, so we had to count them.
Yeah.
Well,
That's okay.
I can't
Yeah,
number them.
Yeah, because I remember on the document you have to use like a comma to separate the words, and unfortunately that if you try the number system, it'll actually probably mess that up.
And that's why
Well,
I
I'm
can't
going to
number
need
'em.
another copy because when I redid my computer, I lost everything, including the document that all the words were on.
Don't worry, I got it. All right.
Okay, send it to me
Well,
tomorrow.
All right. So anyway, go ahead.
JC, do you think it might be a good idea to turn your camera off? I'm not sure what you're doing.
Yeah.
He's
And you're still
whacking his
muted.
willy.
And you're still still muted.
Wait,
Still
what?
muted?
I was in the restroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should probably. Okay, never mind.
All right. So
Stop
anyway.
whacking your willy.
Oh.
Nope.
Okay. So anyway,
Oh,
I'm gonna go ahead and play the 10-second ending. So hang on for 10 seconds, please.
like the most
Yeah.
is your lovely
All right.
penis.
All right. So anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Everybody have a great night. Sleep well. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow for Tune In Tuesday. Good night, everybody.
Don't
Good
cause
night,
too
folks.
much trouble, y'all motherfuckers.